Okay, let's jump in. For this deep dive, we're unpacking authentic communication.
Right.
But specifically, we're looking at those huge expectations we put on ourselves when we try to be truly emotionally honest.
Hmm. That feeling that you have to sort of clean yourself up before you can even speak.
Exactly. Like you
Like
have to write a script for your own feelings.
that performance anxiety is precisely what our source material is going after. We're pulling from a theological work talking about Jesus.
And it asks a pretty radical question.
It really does. It asks, what does true, authentic nearness look like when you feel, completely overwhelmed or angry or just broken?
It's a blueprint for communication that just moves past polishing your feelings.
So our mission today is to find a shortcut past that fear of the polished performance.
Right. And get straight to the idea that vulnerability isn't something you achieve before you get acceptance. It's actually the requirement for it.
Okay, so here's the foundation for this whole idea. It comes from the Song of Solomon. It talks about a beloved who delights in hearing you speak, and it calls your voice melodious.
That sounds lovely, of course, but here's where the analysis gets really interesting.
This is the core of it.
The source explicitly says this delight holds true even if you show up in distress or anger,
Or if you feel tired, frustrated, wounded, or overwhelmed.
which is a complete reversal of what we think of as a pleasant interaction.
It is. And what's fascinating is the distinction it makes. The relationship isn't based on your condition, how well you're doing or feeling.
Right, not on your performance.
It's based on covenant. And you should think of a covenant not as like a contract you can break, but as a guaranteed promise.
A promise that the relationship is secure no matter what.
Exactly. Regardless of your state.
So if that foundation is a guarantee, the
Yeah.
pressure just immediately drops.
That has to.
So what's the next logical step? Well, according to this deep dive, it's basically a command to be unguarded.
You're told to come boldly without rehearsing your prayers or hiding your weakness. The point isn't about getting the theology perfect.
It's about emotional efficiency.
Yeah.
Just skip the script.
Yes, honesty just means speaking when your heart is heavy or your thoughts are all over the place.
Or when you feel restless and empty.
The source uses this analogy of a parent who just cherishes the unfiltered honesty of their child. The parent doesn't want a performance.
They want the truth, the real truth of the heart.
Yeah, that analogy really makes the stakes feel real.
So, okay, that brings us to what might be the most challenging part of this, the most counterintuitive element.
Which is the welcome of complaints, confusion, or sighs too deep for words.
That is such a striking image. I mean,
Yeah.
we are taught the exact opposite, aren't we? To contain those feelings, to filter them.
Always. But the text says that frustration poured out before him is safer than frustration held within you.
But wait, how does a raw complaint become something productive, let alone worship? That seems like a huge leap. Isn't that just airing grievances?
And that raises a really important point about transformation. It's not about the content of the complaint suddenly becoming positive. It's about the act of expression, the choice. By choosing to bring that raw, messy truth into the relationship instead of bottling it up,
Or taking it somewhere else.
you are affirming that this relationship is the primary container for your life. And that act of trust, that is what transforms the complaint.
Ah, I see the pivot. So it's not about the words, it's about the intention.
The intention and the trust behind it.
And the reception is described with just incredible intimacy. It says, he's listening with deep affection.
Yeah, bending down to catch every word, receiving your voice the way a lover receives a cherished melody.
That's powerful.
It is. The idea is that even the trembling sound of your weakest prayer carries the fragrance of devotion. The connection matters more than the sound quality.
So what does this all mean for you, listening to this? I think the core message is clear. The invitation is simply to come freely.
In all your important relationships, really.
Bring your joy and your sorrow, your clarity and your questions. The one who loves you perfectly does not ask you to pretend.
So here's the final thought. If the simple act of expressing a sincere complaint can transform it into something meaningful and accepted, what unspoken assumption are you holding on to that's stopping you from bringing your full, messy truth into the conversations that matter most?